And we are live. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Great. Well, welcome. We're having tech issues over here, guys. And storms galore. Uh, Coming to you from New England, I'm Karina Carj'an. Our co-pilot, Colleen, is over in North Carolina, and our special guest, Stefanie Bay, is over in Germany. And yet we all have rain and storms going on all simultaneously. So welcome, welcome, and know that the live will stay up as the replay after. So if any glitches happen, we will make sure that it gets straightened out for you. And today is holistic health on topic. And we are going to talk about Gamechanger, the breath. And I would love to introduce to you our beautiful guest is Stefanie Bay, who is a CEO of LifeBay since 2012. She is an expert in the field of personality and personal development in times of change. Sound familiar? And with over 14 years of individual coaching, she's certified in non-medical neuropath in psychotherapy, NLP coach, systematic therapist and coach, and has over 10 years in communication, strategic, and operational HR development. And there is more that goes with Stefanie. I wanted to make this brief, but she is a transformational coach, a breath work facilitator, and an expert in resilience and the nervous system of regulation in today's changing times. So I would love for everybody here to welcome Stefanie. Stefanie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here and talk with you about that very inspiring topic and game-changing topic, breath. Yeah.
Well, we definitely know that breath work in
Hmm.
all its forms will change your life
Hmm.
when you start shifting your energy. You come from a certain modality, a certain technique, and you are going to be sharing it with all of us. So please, people, listen up. Maybe jot a little note here and there. Come back, watch the replay, and say, what does she say? And try and apply it because there will be some tips for you. And at the end, in the description, Stefanie also has a special free gift for the audience. So thank you very much for that too, Steph, because that's going to
Course.
help support everyone here.
Yeah, for sure.
So you speak of different words, and one word is going to come up,
Hmm.
Banny.
Any, yeah.
Now, I'm going to let you explain
Hmm.
all of that, and I'm pretty much going to let you take the floor right now. And that is one thing that is going to be important for people to understand what it means.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, let's start. So you might know the word VUCA, volatile, complex, unsecure, and it has kind of shifted to the BANI, which is standing for brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. And what does it mean? We live in a world full of complexity and uncertainty and constant change, and the world is full of distractions. There are, some people say that the values we have are going to brittle. The dependencies we had, where people say we could always count on systems to function, but due to the change, due to the political issues we have, these kind of models of thinking are breaking down. So people are in a world where they are more and more confronted with complexity and uncertainty, and it's just a it's people are always looking for words to name something. So now this is
True.
Bani. Yeah. So
Understood. And
yeah.
so it does put them in the world of chaos, which
Yeah.
impacts the nervous system
Hmm. Hmm.
extremely. And people in professional worlds, but even the personal worlds
Hmm.
and family, everybody
Hmm.
seems to be getting burnt out.
Yeah, people, we all have the accompanying feelings of stress, of exhaustion, of fatigue, and sometimes even the inner resistance to what life is offering.
Yeah,
So,
and nothing about that one, right?
yeah, but the funny thing, the key lies within us, and it's a question of mindset and having the right toolkit to navigate through this kind of chaos. Yeah.
Absolutely. Navigation is very
Navigation is
important.
a yeah, and you can ask yourself, when was truly the last time you felt clear and calm, and relaxed in stressful times? Because once the nervous system is triggered, we are in a certain mode, and we navigate through a certain mode and perceive through a certain mode. So and
Yeah,
that's where
well,
the nervous system
absolutely.
is.
It's all reactionary and it's
Yeah.
from old patterns,
Hmm.
not patterns that serve us now, until we literally start coming back into our center, our core. And that's where the breath comes in with intention of the
Hmm.
breath work, of
Yeah.
what it can do for the psyche,
Hmm.
the emotional body, and your spiritual essence in your soul.
Hmm.
But people have a tendency, because our breath work is we breathe automatically, and thank goodness. Without it, we'd be in trouble. But the people who do have asthma and allergies and stuff, they are more sensitive to the fact that breathing and being able to breathe the right way is very important.
Hmm.
But most people, it's like we first have to wake them up that, wait a minute, breath is life force energy. And here's all the things you can do with it, the power of it, when you give it its attention, the proper attention.
Hmm. And it's funny that you name it like this, because I made the experience very often that when you say, okay, let's give you some exercise in breath, can it be so simple, or I don't have time for breathing, or but this is really the reaction you
I hear
get.
that a lot. I
So
know.
and but it's a really the remote control for the nervous system, and once you get that the breath is the entry key for the nervous system, and the key for regulation, you get a different view on what a powerful tool and effective tool breath can be.
Oh, absolutely. Your perception starts to expand.
Mm.
So your acceptance is more likely to start happening. And yeah, we know that it's steps. It's not like cold turkey, okay, change everything. This is what you do right now, because that's not sustainable either. So therefore, the navigation with it is very important with the awareness.
Hmm. For sure. And the knowledge of what does it mean to breathe in a way that is supporting your body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because a lot of people these days are breathing in a dysfunctional way, and science says it's 20%. If you look a little deeper, it's about 50 to 80% that have a low carbon dioxide tolerance, and really having dysfunctional breathing patterns.
Well, that's very true. Plus, also the misnomers of what
Mhm.
CO2 does for us, where most people think it's just
Oxygen.
toxic. And that's not the truth. We need
Yeah.
more CO2
Yeah.
and actually less O2 in our systems.
Yeah.
Except that is a whole paradigm shift for most people, because we're
Yeah,
always
people.
told, breathe
Yeah.
more, breathe deeply,
Or it's
suck it
not
in,
about the.
right?
It's not the oxygen. It's not the oxygen that stimulates the breathing. It's the carbon dioxide. It's the CO2. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's good to have a closer look of the way we are breathing. Yeah.
definitely. And there's very, very strong science behind all of it now. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That if whatever we're saying here does not resonate, it's easy enough to start to look up the science for yourself to see that, wait a minute, this is a little different. The application is different. The approach is different than what we've been not just automatically doing, but what we've been told in the past to do, what is the healthiest. But if we truly want to have control over our emotional body, our responses instead of reactions, we need to be able to, people say this a lot, hack into, which I'm not I'm not totally, buying it that way, but changing the dysfunction of how we are shortening the power of the breath and can understand how
Mhm.
we can actually start to live freer and healthier
Mhm.
when we
Mhm.
start applying the science with the breath.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think is sometimes it should be even start with the way how the nervous system is designed, you know, because when you look at the numbers, for example, at the moment, and I just before we started, I looked up what how many people are really burning out or are showing signs of burnout, and it's 74% according to Gallup that are experiencing burnout symptoms. Or we have in Germany, we have 41% of people who are really suffering under extreme stress levels. In Germany in 2020, we had 5 million working days that were lost to burnout. And it's and people are always asking, well, are people too weak? And I always say people are not too weak. It's because the nervous system is overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
And why is the nervous system overloaded? I mean, to understand this in the first place, because the nervous system was designed during years ago, hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, yeah, and it's
Under very different conditions.
under very different conditions. Yeah, so they are the nervous system is navigating in a world that it was never designed for, because 50, 100 years ago, there was much more activity. There was better food. There was like the community aspect was much bigger. There were phases of regeneration. What we have today is truly like too little physical activity. We have highly processed food. We have too much stress. We have too much consume of screening. We have warm indoor temperatures. This is all affecting, and we are living in times of where artificial environments are much more created. So it's a difference. These
Oh,
were
absolutely.
so it's and they are not neutral. So it's an and this is an overwhelm, because all these aspects, all these distractions are somehow processed from from the nervous system, and it's away from the natural rhythm it was designed for, and the nervous system always tries to protect.
Oh,
So
absolutely. And
it's an
and that's
evolutionary mismatch we find.
and that's why I'm saying that the science behind it, and when I say the science behind the breath, I'm including everything about our physiology. Because if you don't really understand the cause and effect, then
Hmm.
maybe you don't put enough onus on it and want to take a second look for your own benefit and your own health. I mean,
Hmm.
there is so much noise out
Hmm.
there. And when I say noise, I'm not just talking about sound, I'm talking about how our environment is impacted
Speed, and it's speed. We have noise, speed, pressure everywhere.
absolutely everywhere. And the lack of activity for our physical body, because it is a machine, it's a biomechanical machine, and it must be utilized in order to stay very strong and healthy as well. And yes, the way that efficiency and
Mm-hmm.
making things easier is
Mm-hmm.
actually too much of our downfall.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to recognize it now so we can turn it around, because we can definitely develop new neurotransmitters as
Mm-hmm.
we've burnt out the other ones. But that's even something that people don't understand. You're now not stuck with exactly what you've got and it's only going to go downhill. No,
Mm-hmm.
it
No.
can be arrested and then it can be improved no matter what age you are. That's
That's the
part
good
of the
news.
key.
That's the good news. That's the
That's
good news.
great
Yeah.
news.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the idea of, for the nervous system, we are getting into a kind of survival mode when we are in this kind of environment. So it's really about understanding how we can regulate ourselves back into a state where we are able to navigate and thrive. So because it's
Exactly.
even for companies. Yeah.
And especially if somebody out there on top of it all is also a caregiver.
Hmm.
Because you become, when it's prolonged, which I happen to know a lot about, is since that's where I run right now. Um, the longer it's prolonged, other than you're in the mode of survival for that person, so you're kind of like running on 24/7. And as you are, unless you make space
Hmm.
somewhere in there with the high demand of that 24/7, then you end up in survival mode as well.
Hmm.
And, to make a quick analogy, if somebody goes overboard and you want to help them and rescue them, but you don't put on your own life preserver first and you go
Hmm.
jumping in, not only will the person that you're trying to rescue out of their desperate
Hmm.
situation, they will pull you down and drown you. So it is get a clear picture, folks. Um, so it is important to understand and be honest with ourselves. Where really am I right now?
Hmm.
And what do I need to start bringing into my daily activities? And it's true, daily activities to start switching this
And
around.
to establish new patterns. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But without the awareness, you're not going to do it, because then also, when you only stay linear,
Hmm.
only in the mind, then you don't connect truly to the breath and what the breath can do for you as well.
Hmm. Hmm. That's true. That's so true. And what I always say is that it's so easy and it doesn't take a lot of time. Standing under the shower and just breathe. When you're driving the car, just notice how you're breathing to invite the breath. It's an autonomic biological function, but you can actively control it. It's the only one, by the way, yeah? The only autonomic function
Exactly.
you can you can actively control. So, and the breathing is always and has always been the bridge between the brain and the body. So it's always the mirror of the inner state. It's always this
And you're
little.
right. It really takes a very short period of time.
Mm,
Just a couple of minutes of awareness.
mhm,
And if people can get in the pattern, at least in the morning when they first get up, to set their day off right,
mhm,
before they even get out of bed,
mhm,
instead of jump into automatic things, and to close the evening, kind of like dust the dirt
mhm,
off your feet, like wiping your feet before you walk into the door when you
mhm,
come home. that type of thing when you work with your breath. And then when you really start establishing simple, small, little snippets of time
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
awareness,
Yeah.
then you start noticing through the day when all of a sudden something hits you and you're not breathing very well and you're starting to get anxiety and stressing out. Well, then you can be breathing in those periods of time as well and start to bring your nervous system down. And so, yes, the term self-regulation is used a lot, but it's kind of just a term thrown out there that people, oh, wait, they hear it too much and they don't pay attention to it.
Yeah,
But it
maybe.
is, go ahead.
Yeah, and maybe understand what does it mean to breathe consciously. It's not like just, but it's like how you breathe. It's all. It's not like, okay, now I breathe consciously, but it's about what does it mean to breathe consciously, and it's like breathing through the nose, not through the mouth. It's like, because what does it mean? Mouth breathing is always connected with the sympathetic, which is going to trigger the nervous system. When you breathe through the nose, it's always connected with the parasympathetic part of the nervous system. So breathing through the nose directly triggers the parasympathetic part. Yeah.
Just say
So,
that 3 times fast. Yeah, I know.
so, the
Parasympathetic.
sympathetic is the stress part where we go into fight, flight, or freeze, and the parasympathetic part is the part where we can regulate the nervous system. So breathing through the nose is always connected uh, with triggering the regulation part, which is
Oh,
very important.
absolutely. I actually said it that way, just kind of like as a joke, but I'm glad you repeated it because a lot
Okay.
a lot of people don't understand the difference.
Yeah.
But the fight or flight is very shallow breath, and it
Yeah.
starts forcing you to breathe through the mouth. And when you do breathe through the mouth, you actually are over oxygenating yourself.
Mhm.
And you now are depleting the O2 that you need to go into the mitochondria to start help regulating your blood and everything else. But again, there is science behind all this.
Yes.
So, yes, the parasympathetic is when it's low and slow and calming. And that's where you want to get.
Yeah,
And
and we
you
trigger the
can.
nerve. Yeah, and we trigger the vagus nerve. Yeah, which is the most important part of the parasympathetic part. Just to be
Um,
more technical here.
well, no, no, that's great
No, but
because
yeah, because
the
a strong vagus nerve always creates a good resilience. It's a heart rate variability which is rising, so it's really a good thing to breathe correctly.
well, absolutely. And the vagus nervous system is the nervous system highway to
Hmm.
all the organs in the body. All of them.
Yeah.
So it's connected to the stem of your brain and every single organ. So if the vagus nervous system is not healthy, then different parts of your organs start to become unhealthy because the neurotransmitters are starting to inflame and start to die off, but they're
Mhm.
still communicating. So now they're not communicating healthy news and functionality to the different organs, and then you get in trouble. And so
Mhm.
that's why they say over long term, when you're overstressed and you're not doing anything about it, you end up getting the sick, all these different conditions and diseases, and it can actually kill you. And that's why. That's just bring it down into a nutshell.
Bring it down. If you don't breathe, you die.
If
Yeah.
you don't manage your stress and understand
For
with the
sure.
breathing intentionally,
No,
there you go.
no, but it's always the how. It's always the how.
It is the how.
Because the breath changes how we feel, how we think, how we respond to stress, how we navigate through the day, how present and focused we are. It's all paying in to that kind of state of being. So yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
So we would like to change the dysfunctionality of how we're breathing, and it is about the how to. And there are many methods, and you may resonate with some, you may not resonate with others.
Hmm.
It's just the way. And so as humans, we like to sometimes overcomplicate things.
Hmm.
And here's the format. You must follow this, otherwise it's not going to happen. And then you extrapolate on something that in ancient spiritual energy healing arts teaches you the complete opposite. And that's where all my training lies for a lifetime. That the
Hmm.
more simplistic you become, the more power there is with it.
Hmm.
So it's the overthinking, and then the overthinking about it too, then overwhelms the person because then they think, oh my God, it's going to take all that. I can't possibly do that. It's too much.
Hmm.
So a nice guided navigational path, which what we provide different ways,
Hmm.
is something to really start looking into
Hmm.
because that's why we're here.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
plus to light up the world within every person. So
Yeah. Um, yeah. You know, in my latest keynote, I always offer a nice picture. So this might be a good place to bring it in. So if you imagine being a farmer and your
Oh,
goal
I
is
love
to,
this
I
analogy.
love this one.
I
I love
love
this
this
one
one.
because
It's
this is
perfect.
so metaphorical, but still very profound. I at least think so. So imagine that you're a farmer and your goal is to harvest a rich crop that's resilient and that's grows and that's success. But what happens if you don't take care of the soil? So if you don't nurture and prepare and create the right conditions to grow. So the ground gets hard, the plants don't grow, and the harvest never comes. So, and this is exactly what happens if we don't take care about the nervous system. So we can only harvest the crop of our resilience and our growth if we take care of the inner soil, and that's the nervous system, because this is the lens through which everything is perceived, and this is really key also for people in companies, for leadership, for having resilient leadership. I always say that the breath is really a kind of resilient leadership skill, because this really can shift things.
It is a leadership skill.
Because when imagine what happens when leadership would start from safety and not from pressure. So it's there can really magical things happen, you know starting from I have read a new science report where organization implemented breathing programs where they had really a breakthrough in turnover and productivity rising. This
Yeah,
is
no,
amazing.
absolutely.
And this is and it's not an expensive skill you can have to train there. It's an easy thing. But it has to be done in the right way, and you have to find the right exercises, because not every individual is as how you say is locking in the same exercises. So we always have to see what looks the bold score. Like, this is the body oxygen level test. You can see whether you are in a dysfunctional breathing pattern already, or if it's fine. And then you can have different kind of slots in the training to have a good and healthy breathing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, in summer breath, we have many different simplistic tests, and I'm happy to say I'm back into the master breathwork program. I took a detour for a while with all the caregiving. So we test to see where our oxygen and CO2 level is, and you can do it as simple as with a stopwatch on your phone
Mhm, mhm,
and test it that way. But we're also dealing with some intermittent hypoxia,
mhm,
which holding your breath,
mhm,
whether it's from the exhale or the inhale.
mhm,
However, not everybody, I'm just letting the people know.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody is, in the beginning, suited to any
Mm-hmm.
form of holding their breath at all. In fact, panic attacks start happening. So it's important to get them into this rhythm breathing, this heart coherence
Mm-hmm.
breathing, whether it's long inhale or a short one, or a long exhale or a short one, but it's that pattern, that's wave, to start just repeating it. And as you come into that repetition, now your heart syncs up with it. And what that does for the heart level, instead of erratic behavior, it now comes and levels down and comes into the parasympathetic syndrome. I know my tongue got my tongue got there. See, that's what I get for making a joke about it.
Yeah.
And so there are different ways and simplistic ways, and everybody can do it, because no matter what your state of physicality is, because everybody breathes. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not breathing, then you're not here with us on this plane in this dimension. So it's not a difficult thing to learn, and it's within everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And so we're here to help bring some serious awareness
Mm-hmm.
for all the audience that sees this, that yes, you hear people speak, oh, breathe, 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 breath work, breath work, breath work. But it's important to hear and feel what you resonate with. Some doubts that you have, definitely look some of the science up for yourself. You don't need to listen to anybody. You need to first have a sense of wonder, curiosity, and hopefully some belief. And you're at a mindset that you're willing to take a look and open your perception. If you're locked down about it in the past, because it depends. What do you want? If you're not happy with yourself, do you want more of the same? And more of the same, guess what doesn't stay the same? You degrade, by the way. Or you want to start switching it up and start gaining better health.
Mm-hmm. There are, as you already said, there are different ways of approaching the breath. Um, there's a big trend in all this transformative breathing, holotropic breathing, and when I did my training, my trainers already always said, you have to have a functional breathing pattern before you start doing these kind of very life-changing transformative breathing sessions, because this could also be like a stressful, because breathing in a transformative way in the connected breath is a very stressful triggering for the nervous system. So make sure that you have the capacity to do so,
Oh, exactly.
because
You
there are
need to
a lot of
you need to
techniques
build
that,
up.
because the idea is to stay in the body and not kick yourself out of the body during that time.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And
to
and
have
and
the
that's for
experience in the body, and not like there are so many techniques where people are really like over stressing the body and really are kicking themselves out. So to have to stay in the body the whole 60 or 90 minutes.
Well, that's just it. It absolutely is to stay in the soma and recognize, connect with the body, have the communication with your breath and the body, and then you
Yeah.
start to make that communication afterwards with the mind while you're going through all it. And it
Hmm.
is a series, and that's why
Hmm.
from my training, the heart coherence is the first one to just naturally, because it's an easy breath, you're not forcing anything, you can just sit with it. And as you build up and start to
Yeah.
be able to go in that rhythm, now you're building up a little bit of a capacity that you can take another step. The
Yeah.
thing is that stuff always bubbles up.
Mm-hmm.
as we know, that's
Mm-hmm.
been hiding,
Mm-hmm.
um, and has not been resolved. And this is a gift, though, when this happens, because now you are shining a light on something that you can transform.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, in the beginning, a lot of people don't even know that this happens. So when something starts to happen, they think it's happening all over again instead
Mm-hmm.
of releasing. So what happens? More of a panic, more anxiety, more overwhelm hits. So to understand these factors ahead of time, you're prepared and
Mm-hmm.
so surprised
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
not great
Yeah.
surprises when it
Yeah.
happens at all.
Yeah. And guess what? Why you said anxiety and panic attacks? Nearly 75 to 80%, according to science, of people with anxiety or panic orders have dysfunctional breathing patterns.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
1000, yeah, they absolutely do.
So,
And one thing that science is also finding is that their CO2 levels are so low
mhm, mhm,
that this is what keeps triggering the anxiety and the overwhelm
mhm, yeah.
instead of releasing it. So by getting more CO2 into your system, I'm not talking about, putting on a mask and that, although people have some equipment
And
out there, guys, but it's,
yeah, and there are, there according to oxygen advantage. Okay, there are very different techniques, especially with the reduced the LSD breathing they call it. It's a light, slow, and deep breathing through the nose, where you
yeah,
can
but the
really.
term.
I know, but yeah, starting ladders. It's a
No,
light,
I
slow.
understand that,
I know
but
LSD. I know. Yeah, yeah. But you are increasing. You're immensely increasing your resistance for CO2. So the idea is always to manipulate the CO2 to train your body and widen the tolerance fencer for.
yeah, absolutely. And it does take training
Yeah,
and
daily training.
consistency
Yeah,
and practice
yeah.
because that part does not come easily.
No. Mm-mm.
We- We're just,
When
we're
people
just
start
letting you
breathing,
guys know that ahead of time. Okay. But you can have fun with it. Okay. We're not saying that this is
oh,
a
it's
drudgery. You can have a lot of fun when you find the right guide to work with all this.
yeah. I think it's the first point is really to realize that we have one of the most powerful tools for change and for shifting and transformation already available to us. So we don't have to pay anything for it. It's there.
That's right, it is there. And when you shift your energy, you literally shift
Yeah,
your life.
yeah. And that's basically the essence. So yeah, that's the essence.
It is. It absolutely is.
So it's maybe sometimes the breath is as it is connected to the nervous system. There sometimes can be experiences in childhood that are connected to the nervous system, and sometimes when we do certain exercises in breathing, these topics might come up also through transformative breathing. We try to close stress cycles, we try to close emotional cycles, we try to emotionally regulate with breathing. So that's why I love breathing. This really transformed my life, to have that conscious breathing experience.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah. And we have 2,500 breath intakes per day. Imagine if you would do at least half of them consciously, how would that shift? And I once calculated it's at 6 million a year, a lifetime. So it's a lot.
It's definitely, it's a lot of opportunities,
A
let's
lot
put
of
it that way.
opportunities. Yeah.
And eventually it's about breathing with quality,
Hmm.
less per minute.
Yeah, that's the key. And
That
reducing.
really is the key.
Mhm.
And it's not a force, it is a natural flow that you start developing. Because statistics say that anywhere between 10 breaths, 7 to 10 breaths a minute is
Sure.
when you're very healthy and that you don't even look like you're breathing.
And the average is about 18. The average 16 to 18, and that's far too much.
Yep.
Yeah. And
And
this
they're
is also,
going, how is that possible? And so if
it-
you're over that, that is where the anxiety and the overwhelm is
Mhm,
residing,
mhm.
without question.
And I always invite my clients to it's just a status quo, you know? It's not that we value that it's bad or that it's good, it's just the way it is. And that we can start, as you already said at the beginning, you can start at nearly every point. And there will be shifts taking place, but you just have to do it consciously. It's a gateway to safety, to regulation, to presence. It's a really great gateway.
It is, and to resilience too.
Mhm.
People kind of don't look at resilience so much, but it's really important in changing times.
But I think the word resilience is kind of overused because people always say, "Oh, we'd have to talk about resilience, resilience, resilience," and it's like so buzzwording everywhere
Well,
that
yeah, it is. I don't disagree with that, but I'm using it in combination of what
yeah,
we're talking about here,
mhm,
not
yeah,
just
yeah,
how it's out in the trends or the threads or whatever
yeah,
we call it out there.
yeah. I always like to talk about creating capacity to deal with whatever is coming across. So the thriving part and the survival part, for example, it's really about evolving and not staying stuck in old things, like being in an anxious and protection driven state of being, but know how you can regulate yourself and stay in calm even if the world breaks is getting brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. So
Well,
the
that
Bainey thing, so it's really creating about the capacity to hold
well,
the
it's definitely about the capacity
yeah.
and
And
in
we decrease it.
Sufi in
Sorry,
Sufi
sorry for
oh sorry
interrupting you. So
in
the
Sufi
decrease.
okay.
No, you do it. No, you first. You do. It's okay. Sorry.
In Sufi, we
Yeah.
refer to it as expanding, not evolving,
Yeah.
because it is about capacity.
Yeah.
And since we are the full higher being, which most people are disconnected in conscious knowledge
Mhm.
about, but there's a knowingness inside, they think it's about, oh, evolving, evolving, but it's actually expanding to hold the bigger self of
Of the bigger
us.
self. Hmm. Hmm.
Without question.
Hmm.
And Qigong, we look at everything about that pause, that stillness moment
Hmm.
to notice,
Hmm.
not to do anything about it,
Hmm.
but it's
To
important
notice.
to notice, be the witness of yourself,
Hmm.
of what's happening. So yes, it's very exciting. We need it more than we've ever needed it. We're at a time in the world of humanity, I believe,
Hmm.
that some of us have been put through the forging of the fires for many, many years in order to bring this down to a very comprehensible, palatable way that it can reach most people in one of the most crucial times in the history of humanity. I am very, very sure of this
Hmm.
Besides, my guys always are talking anyway,
Yeah.
and this is what happens. So we are here to really help expand
Hmm.
people's perceptions and awareness to understand that there is a harnessing, a control, and a power that they actually automatically have, now just need to implement in the way that they resonate with.
Yeah, and yes, agreed. And also to know that it's much easier to act out of a place of clarity and calm.
You're talking about my world now, girl.
I know. So,
Thank you.
and, and yeah, it's just easier, and you can even unfold your potential much better if
Oh,
you are regulated, and
1000%.
so people, I often hear people say, "Oh, it's also stressful, and I don't have the time for this, and I don't have the time for that, or I don't get my target through." So really, really resonate on that, and to say, okay, what if I would really bring some concentration and some focus on something that really could lift my energy, my clarity, my whole being, my whole state, then it's the breath. It's the quickest. It's the quickest way to focus. It's the direct way to focus and presence.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
it's the
from
quickest
there,
and the direct
and
with
from this point, then you can really unfold whatever you like. But you have to be in that state. If you're not, you are always stressed, you're always triggered, you are always in a reactionable mode, not acting.
and that's part of the difference because I speak in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
Hmm.
So when you are connected with your breath like this, you automatically start rising your frequency.
Yeah.
If you want to enhance something in your life, if you want to literally magnetize something, if you want the law of attraction to show up in your life the way you want it, clarity itself is what determines this.
Hmm.
So the more you breathe, the clearer you actually become, believe it or not, guys. Your frequency rises. So now you're in a better communication, a clearer communication with the universe. And from there, you now get to be able to, your intuition, your God guidance becomes enhanced. And as that becomes more enhanced, you now see better of the path, and you
Hmm.
also start seeing the distractions, and
Yeah.
you start seeing where you're giving away all your energy leaking all the time, and how you're depleting yourself. And now you can make judgment calls, qualified judgment calls, to set your priorities different.
Yeah, to make decisions from that inner kind of alignment you create with that. Yeah.
And that's what the breath, in short, brief things that we can tell you in
Hmm.
this short period of time, what it can all do for you.
Hmm.
So that's about changing your life. And that's something that somebody can't take away from you, is your breath.
Yeah.
It's yours.
And it's not always, sometimes the mind decides what to do, but you forget the body.
Oh, absolutely. And
So,
that's,
and you have to bring the body into the calculation. So, despite the fact that more information go from the body to the brain than from the brain to the body, let's lift up the body and make that in co-alliance with the brain. That would be better, much better.
well, absolutely, because the second brain resides in our gut.
Yeah.
So that is communicating. And at the same time, the truth of it is, when we are not connected, our brain is what's driving the bus instead of us giving the mind assignments.
Mhm.
So when you do come into conscious breathing, awareness, intention with it, now you're literally giving your mind a job. And so all that clutter that's been up in the head, all this input, all this noise, well, it's like a computer. The defrag happens and all the files get reordered. And so again, more clarity.
Mhm.
Also, memory improves too, by the way.
Mhm. Yes. And we come back to the vagus nerve, which goes through the diaphragm and the gut. So this is all linked together. So
It
yeah.
is all linked together.
Yeah.
It really is. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. So Steph, this has been so much fun. And we are going to be coming back. So watch for us because we're going to take certain components and do 10 little minutes of really going deep into a section of what we're talking about now. Because I have a lot of people that say, well, what did they mean about that? And could they explain a little bit more? And so we really want to inform you as best as we can. And then if you need guidance, we're also here to help you.
Mhm.
Stephanie's information will be in the description along with the the special gift for you to help support what we were talking about here. And Steph, is there something coming up in particular for you or something that you have in motion right now that the audience would
I'm
like
working
to hear?
on my breathing program. I'm working on that, which is slightly coming up in autumn. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Yeah, at the
Well,
moment.
that is fantastic.
Stay tuned.
Oh, we love it. We love it. And so, yes, I'm back in the saddle with Summer Breath again. You know, I am a Somi. Oh, have been since 2020, but now I'm getting really focused on coming into the mastery breath work. And there's so much with the Ayurvedic that also helps to understand where you are, what your spirit, what your body can is better for you in order that helps enhance the way you're breathing, that we're all connected. It's all connected. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the body. Okay. So it's very important with holistic health to make sure you're considering every aspect, your spirit, your soul, your body, your emotions, the soma of your body, and recognizing it. So this is going to be fun because I am going to do a few beta groups down the road as I continue going through this process. Okay. I don't know how long it's going to end up taking me, but in the meantime, I am opening back up my fall semester on, you got it, folks, clarity connection. And it's phase one, and it's a 3 month program to get you very connected back to your core. So you gain that clarity, you start seeing your paths, you start shifting your energy. So you do end up shifting your life. We do end up with distinct patterns that we've been holding, and you learn how to replace them, not get rid of. Energy is funny like that. You don't want to avoid, you don't want to ignore, you want to witness, acknowledge, but then you want to transform and you want to replace. And I have information on my website, and you're going to start seeing a few more webinars this month coming up. Whether I do a live workshop or not, I'm not sure, but look at on all the platforms. We're here somewhere. And so I invite you all to take a look at that. And this was just amazing today to have this beautiful time to be with you, Stephanie. It's been quite a while.
Mhm.
And we've all been on journeys, including Colleen, who is my beautiful, as you see these gorgeous shorts. She is my digital media director now in all of these. And so her information is also in the description as well, as along with some of mine. And please come and subscribe and be part of our tribe because we're going to continually giving you valuable information that can help improve your life and empower you. And that's our goal, to help empower you, to ignite that beautiful, gorgeous light that is inside of each and every one of you, and for you to really get to see the truth of who you are and make the changes you desire to change.
I love that so much, Karina. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you both for today's amazing episode. Dare I say it was pretty juicy. And I think you both complemented each other very nicely. And I loved this deep dive on breath work. So thank you both.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being our wonderful anchor.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
An
much.
anchor is very important.
Yep.
Very important. Well, thank you. So we're going to send everybody off with so much love and blessings. Until next time, we will be seeing you soon. And please come back for the replay, grab a spot. You have questions of what Stephanie was saying, please go through her free gift, but contact her. Her information is in the free gift as well. Okay, till then, I'm going to say to everybody, God bless.